A building contractor in business for years has closed their doors, but before they do shut, boy. A building contractor in business for years has closed their doors, but before shutting down, they took payments for projects they didn't finish. WMAR 2 News' Mallory Safaste spoke to the customers left with half-built and uninhabitable homes because if it matters to you, it's a matter for Mallory.
These families survived fires that destroyed their homes. Now they're trying to avoid financial ruin after their contractor abandoned them.
It was a big night for us. My phone was ringing off the hook.
Allison Wynn's son hit the game-winning shot. She remembers the date, February 4th, 2017, and she remembers waking up that night to the dog barking.
And when I looked out to the left, my neighbor's entire house was engulfed in flames, and my house had just started burning on the side. We ran across the street to the neighbors and literally just watched this fire take over our home.
The home that's been in her family 50 years burned in front of her eyes. The fire department managed to save the structure, but the damage was done.
It was a lot of smoke and water, the fire, about $200,000 worth.
Her insurance company moved her family into temporary housing, then sent a list of contractors who could do the repairs. She chose Building Contractors of Maryland, Inc. They had a good-looking website with an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau. She signed the contract in April of 2017. Nearly 2 years later, they said they were close to being done.
Carl Johnson, who is running the company at this time and the person that I've been working with throughout this entire process, picked up a check from me to continue the work. And a week later, I found out he went out of business.
Carl sent an email that Building Contractors of Maryland went out of business on March 28th. He didn't return to finish the work, and he didn't return the money.
I'm literally out close to $25,000 to try to finish the work on my house. I'm a single mom. I'm a caregiver of a mom with Alzheimer's disease, and I work at the school system. I don't have $25,000 on hand.
I don't know what can be done about it.
Neither does Jenna Cunningham, another single mom whose home was damaged in a fire and hired Building Contractors of Maryland, Inc. to rebuild her home.
So it did take me a long time to find Carl Johnson. And he was actually recommended by my insurance company. I called every single reference that he gave me. They had wonderful things to say.
She gave Carl $71,000 in December, and a few months later, he still hadn't done much work. When she demanded to see progress, Carl sent the same letter.
I messaged him and said, is there any hope of me getting my money back, Carl? Any hope? Do you have any idea? And he didn't respond.
When you told your insurance company that he took the money and didn't do the work, what was their response?
Their response was an immediate, we're very sorry, but we're not liable for this.
And they're not going to pay for temporary housing much longer.
My children and I could be homeless and not have anywhere to go, or be going $3,000 into debt every month. That's the position he's left us in.
Trapped in a situation they never saw coming and most likely couldn't have avoided.
And that's another thing that kind of hurts, is I did all my homework and it didn't pay off.
You advise people check licensing, make sure their website is active, there's good communication, there's contract. In all of these cases, that actually occurred.
The Better Business Bureau flagged Building Contractors of Maryland as out of business, but looking at the company's website, you wouldn't know it.
Ready to talk about your project? Give us a call today.
A normal homeowner looking for some home improvement work would perceive this business to be operating and legitimate, and that is our concern.
There's also no online evidence the company has filed for bankruptcy, as stated in their email. We tried finding Carl Johnson. We started at the office.
So it's closed. No one's there.
We also tried his phone, email, and Facebook. No answer.
You can see where the siding is still burned, so my roof is going to leak when it rains.
While Jenna and Allison struggle to find help to recoup their money, they're still dealing with the trauma of almost losing everything. Jenna and Allison considered taking legal action, but they were advised by attorneys that the legal fees alone could cost them more than they lost. Even if they were to get a favorable judgment, there's no guarantee they'd get their money back. Jenna called police. They told her it was a civil matter. So their last line of defense is the Maryland Home Improvement Commission Guarantee Fund, but they won't get everything back. The limit per consumer is $20,000. Per contractor is $100,000. We know there have been 7 complaints filed, so the return could be even smaller. And that payout, that can sometimes take up to a year or longer if the commission approves your claim.
Well, if you have a matter for Mallory, she wants to hear from you. You can email her at mallory@wmar.com. And click with us online at WMAR2news.com for updates on top stories and breaking news. Also for news and weather while you're on the go. Download the WMAR2 app in the App Store. You can watch live radar and get breaking news sent right to your phone. I'm Jamie Costello.
This WMAR2 News Update is sponsored by Jones Junction.